Hey y'all, it's Hoagie. Welcome back to my channel. Today's self-love topic is something that I kind of am embarrassed to talk about, not because there's anything wrong with it, but just because it's kind of personal and I am afraid that some people might think it's silly, even though, it shouldn't be silly. I don't have much experience with seeing other people who've done similar things, so I feel like I'm kind of by myself in this, but I think it's relevant to Self-Love September, and it's something that's really helped me, and so I thought I'd talk about it. As you can see by the title of this video, there are two concepts that I deal with that are kind of like archetypes. They're not exactly the same as Jungian archetypes. They're kind of derivative from them, the lover's archetype. And I work with them to help me grow, to try to embody those characteristics in my own life, and as you would with other archetypes. They are a pair of concepts, the lover and the beloved. The beloved is someone who has gone through major trauma, who has a lot of baggage, and feels unworthy of love. Whereas the lover is the one who sees the beloved as they really are, who accepts them for who they are, and supports them and loves them unconditionally. Their faces change depending on what pieces of media I'm interested in at the time. Right now, they are represented by Wei Wuxian and Lang Wangji from Modazushi, or the Untamed, and they are on my altar. I have a little figurine of them, as I'll show you, and I use that to focus my attention and my energy. I have two candles that I light when I'm talking with them, and I have a little set of prayer beads that I hold when I'm doing prayers to them, and that's what I do when I'm at my altar. I have my deity, and then I have my archetypes, and I usually talk to one and then the other, and that's how it works on my altar. I've been interested in working with characters from my favorite pieces of media for a while. This has gone through many permutations, many identities, many characters, and I think my first iteration with working with these concepts was in Pacific Rim, and then it went into Good Omens and Schitt's Creek, and now it's in Modazushi. And it comes down to the same core characteristics that I ended up eventually melting everything down into, because I got kind of sick of constantly having to rewrite prayers and redo prayer beads and the setup and everything on my altar every time I changed fandoms. And so I brought it down into, what is it about these characters that really resonates with me so much. And I made a list of all their essential parts. I was able to break them down into the core of what resonates with me so much, and that's where the lover and the beloved came from. I've wanted to work with them because for a long time, relationships in fandom have, filled a hole in my life. I've only had one relationship that was a couple years ago, and it lasted a week, and I really crave romantic attention, and I haven't had any of it pretty much my entire life, and I feel like I'm missing something. And I know it's not necessary for someone to have a significant other in order to be complete, but I really crave that, and I want that closeness and that support from another human being, and I've never had it. So I live vicariously through these characters. I'm sure I'm not the only person who does this, but it's still kind of a little embarrassing to talk about because I feel like it's not something that is talked about a lot, even though a lot of people do it. It's seen as more of, fangirls fetishizing MLM relationships, which I'm not a fangirl, I'm a fanboy. But it has this stigma on it. And it helps. That's what matters, right? It does its job. It helps. If I'm able to live vicariously through these characters, where there's someone that I relate to, and then their significant other or the person that I ship them with takes care of them and loves them unconditionally, and maybe I can have that. Maybe someday I will be able to have that. And for the meantime, this is what I have to help make me feel more complete. I'm aware that this goes into pop culture paganism, and I know a lot of people have a problem with pop culture paganism. I do not. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I am a bit of a chaos witch. I don't care about that. If it works for you, if it helps you, if you feel a magical connection to something, there's no reason why you shouldn't pursue it. So that's just my 2 cents. It began at the beginning with just me identifying with the beloved and seeing myself in them, and then having the lover kind of be my imaginary boyfriend, someone who supports me in my own mind. And then it turned into, at least recently, in the past year, it has turned into me realizing that I can support myself, that I can be my own significant other, that I can love myself and support myself and love myself unconditionally, just like I want someone else to, that I'm not just embodying the beloved, I can also embody the lover. And it's something that I hadn't actually considered before. I was just like, this is just something, this is almost a crutch. This is just helping me get through this difficult time in my life in which I don't have anybody to be romantically involved with. And it was medicinal, and now it's therapeutic. It's helping me get more in touch with myself. It's helping me learn to love myself, and I'm very grateful for that. I work with them in a couple ways. I have prayers that I recite to them every morning. I have a prayer for each of them. They're very short. They kind of set my intention, asking them to be with me, to support me, and to help me embody their characteristics. And I say those every morning when I get up. I also have some more complex prayers that I will say at my altar when I have the chance to get up and be on my altar and do stuff that's witchy at my altar, which hasn't been a lot recently, but I'm getting back in the swing of things because it's getting closer to the spooky season, and that's usually what happens with me. I also really enjoy divination, just in general, and so I have a deck that is specifically dedicated to them that I use to communicate with them. It's the Cosmo Oracle. I had an unboxing of it on my other channel, but I've gotten it recently as I started to really create the lover and the beloved, like that, not just dealing with the characters, but those specific reduced and melted down concepts. I ended up getting the Cosmo Oracle, and I'm like, I'm gonna associate these two. So I now use that to talk with them. I'll ask them questions, or I'll just ask them if they have any advice for the day or for the week. And I get some good messages. I ask them a lot about how to practice self-care and self-love, and we do talk. We have conversations, and it really does help. Sometimes I will dedicate my activities to them. I have dedicated exercise to them. I also do that with my patron deity. I will sometimes leave offerings for them. It's usually just some water. I don't really have the capabilities of offering anything, more substantial. But I like to think that the more I give to them, the more they're able to give to me, which is perfectly fine with me. I'm happy to support the things that take care of me, So that's really it. I love working with them. They help me. They help me learn to love myself, that I can be my own partner, that that I can support myself and lift myself up, and I don't really need anybody else, at least not in this part of my life when I don't have anyone else, that I don't have to wait for someone to love me and, you know, fill a hole in my heart when I can do that myself. That's about it. I hope this made sense. I know it's a little bit out there concept-wise, but I figured it was relevant for the month, and it's something that I have been wanting to talk about for a while, so I thought I'd give it a go. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate any engagement I get. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.